Good evening and welcome to Runs, Hits, Aaron, the pregame show for the Pittsburgh Diamonds. And we are here, of course, with the manager for the Diamonds, Aaron Miles, who we get to speak to on this show every night. Last night just felt like kind of a classic baseball game. 3-2, the Diamonds win against San Rafael, their first win against the league leaders. It was just a lot of good things happened last night.
Absolutely, and the biggest story of all, Dakota Freeze slaying the Dragon, his former team, a team that had gotten him twice already, and who he really wanted to have a good showing against, and he did it, and against a very good ball club. I mean, they can swing the bats. They're at the top of the league swinging the bats. A lot of switch hitters in there mixed in, and he just attacked the zone, was throwing hard, and good slider last night, and boy, he probably could have went the distance, but we did have to make some moves, and we got the win, and he did a heck of a job, and good to have him, and great to get the win against them.
And you brought in Cameron Hatch for one batter. That was kind of a classic managerial move. Cameron Hatch against their fourth hitter, their designated hitter, and their RBI leader.
Absolutely, it's probably the move I should have made the night before, but. You learn from it, and I did learn from it, and Hatch did good against him the previous night, so we went right back to it, and it worked, and then handed the ball off to Moskovitz, and he took care of the rest and did a heck of a job closing that game out.
3-2 is very, very close, and what's interesting about it is the Diamonds led 1-0. It was tied up. That very next chance they got a bet, they scored 2 runs, but that second run, it's almost always kind of an afterthought until they get one, and all of a sudden that's the run that makes the decision. Wes Wallace scored from third. Brett Smith scored the first run and had the game-winning RBI.
They call that the insurance run.
Yes.
Okay, so we were glad to have some insurance, because if you don't, you get caught in a tight spot. And then, it's a big run, very big run, and happy to see the guys get back. Right after we give up one, they come right back with 2. We still had some spots in our lineup where we didn't situational hit, and that's continuing to be a thorn on our side. We've got to do better at that if we're going to consistently win ball games. But I like where we're going. We're pitching great. The bullpen is coming together. We're looking strong. Defensively, we played a very good ball game yesterday. And I'm, real happy with the guy behind the plate, Mr. Bracamonte, who played first last night, did a great job at first. And, just all-around defensive game that we played last night, and hopefully we can continue to do that. And when we start situational hitting, we're going to start rolling on these wins, and hopefully we can reel off, 2, 3, 4 in a row.
We had a special guest on the broadcast last night. Shaw was on, and we were discussing your first baseman, and he was under the impression that maybe this was Bracamonte's first game at first base ever. Is that the case?
I think he's probably played every position plenty, because he's not going to say no to anything. He's an infielder by trade. When the Astros first signed him, he came to them as an infielder, third baseman, second baseman, shortstop. So anybody that has that type of ability that is signed by a professional club and came there originally as an infielder, they've got to have some good ability, and they can play first base. And being a catcher, well, he's probably not going to drop too many balls. Mm-hmm. So he did a great job at first, made some great plays, big part of the game. And, I guess it was the right move. I wouldn't have thought it would be, but, we put him there because we felt he could handle it.
He made a great play on Files' streaming line drive down to the first base bag, where he caught the ball, leaping to get the ball, and then came down and tagged the bag with his glove.
Just a catcher making a play, man. Again, he's a heck of a ball player. Obviously, very prepared. Sees the ball well on the field. Quick reactions. And, when you looked at that, he reacted so quickly to it. And behind the plate, that's what he's got to do. When a ball's in the dirt, he's got to move his feet quickly. He's got to be prepared. Mm-hmm. And, the right man in the right spot, obviously. So
there's a new shortstop for you guys tonight.
Absolutely. Jose Garcia back in the lineup. I didn't think it would be this quick, but, Valera's a little banged up with his hand. That's tough for us because he's swinging the bat so well. But he, just felt like he couldn't go tonight, and Jose's here. Probably a little earlier than we'd expect him. I was expecting maybe a couple more days of BP before we got him in there, but when you need a shortstop and Jose Garcia is here, you just make the move. So that's what happened today, and Jose looked good in BP. course, he looked good in the infield, and hopefully he can come up for us and have a big hit tonight and play great defense.
And Jordan Brink returns to the mound for another shot. Has he won the fifth position starting?
Well, of course he's won the fifth. He's our fifth starter right now, you know. All these guys are always in competition with themselves and with the rest of the league, and with ball players that are, you know, aspiring to play for us or anywhere, guys in other leagues. But, you know, Jordan did a great job filling up the zone last time he pitched. He gave up some hits. Siverados, you know, hit him pretty well, but, you know, he's going to give up his hits if he's throwing strikes. That's okay, as long as he's not beating himself. We're going against a team that likes to run. Hopefully he can control the running game and stay in the zone, not beat himself. If he does what he did last time against the Pacifics, throws that many strikes, I think we're going to win the ball game, and he's going to have a heck of a game. So that's what we're hoping for, and I think he's made the adjustments that he needs to. We'll see what happens today.
There was a time last year when you were playing Sonoma for the championship at the first half, and you had specifically told your pitchers that they needed to be very conscious of the base runners and keep them on first base. With Napa running like crazy, is that something you've told them for this game and for upcoming series?
Absolutely. We've talked about it before. Last time we played them, and we'll talk about it again right before the game. They pretty much run all the way through the lineup. There's a couple guys that have, you know, 9, 10 stolen bases, and we're going to have to vary our looks, you know, maybe step off a little bit, be quick to the plate, and do what baseball players do to combat the running game. Obviously, I like the guy we have behind the plate. He may be tested today with his arm, which, you know, is something we haven't really seen him be tested before, so we're going to check it out, and obviously we're going to try to do what we can to stop that because that's a big part of their offense.
Well, thank you, Coach. Good luck tonight. We will be back for the start of tonight's game against the Napa Siverados right after this.